10-6 lead heading into the final day of this Ryder Cup. Can you give us your assessment on today's performance and the performance overall of your team?
Yeah, today was good. It was all the things that we talked about last night was they took in and they came out hard this morning and did brilliant. They really did. You know, it's been 2 great days, but a nice little chat in that locker room now and turn it around and get ready for tomorrow. These days are tough. They're long. They put a lot of strain on the players, and all of them, if you're playing or not playing, because they're still long days, and there's a lot of emotion and a lot of thought that goes into the day. So, you know, they need to get back. They need to recover. They need to get good food, good drink tonight, and then we go again tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Thomas. We will open up to the floor, please. If you could place your hands up, we'll get a mic. We'll start at the very back with number 2.
Thomas, well done for today. Rory on the third seemed to be goaded by a spectator, and he then reacted. Can you talk about the incident, and do you think Rory was right to respond, and did it affect his game?
I'm not aware of any incident, so he hasn't mentioned it to me, and I wasn't there, so not aware of it. So if it was a big problem for Rory, he would have mentioned it to me.
Okay, we're going to go to number 4 in the middle, Doug.
Thomas, so the way the morning went and then with the afternoon, at any point today, did you find yourself getting greedy?
Greedy? No. I will never ever get greedy against an American side in the Ryder Cup. We have a goal, and that is try to win this trophy, and that's where the focus stays. And I've said all along, I focus on the 12 players that is in our side, but we are so well aware what's standing across on the other side. Very capable and very, you know, the greatest players in the world. So we have to regroup, and we look to tomorrow, and I would never get ahead of myself in this.
Okay, we'll go to number 1 in front.
Thomas, Patrick Reed has been a bit of a thorn in your side, you know, the team's side the last couple of outings, Ryder Cups. I just wonder, when you beat him, you know, he's a bit of a lightning rod. Is that can that provide a bit of a boost when you're kind of silencing him and, you know?
No, we don't look at the opposition that way. We look at it from a completely different perspective. We look at winning our points and who stands on the other side when we win the points. You know, I think it's pretty much overshadowed by the happiness of winning the points and what our goal is. We don't look at players on the American side in that way. You know, these guys are. I think a lot of people tend to forget how close they are, a lot of them, and they live their lives together every week and you know, have great relationship across the 2 teams. So we don't look at our opponents that way. We look at it in a way of trying to win the points that we can do and be happy about that.
Okay, we're going to go to number 2 in the very back.
Thomas, what most impressed you about Francesco and Tommy's performance over the last 2 days, and did their performance exceed even your expectations?
Well, I mean, what can you say? You know, there's not much you can say about it. It's a remarkable performance, and you know that pairing came out of long conversations with the 2 of them, and a relationship they built with each other over a long time, and they wanted to do this, and when they kind of both said that they were really keen on that pairing, you know, I started looking at facts and figures and everything that was built around them, and you know, speaking to the stats guys and vice captains, there was never any red flags with the 2 of them. So I thought, well, okay, we'll give it a go. But from there to what they've done is you know, it's pretty remarkable. You know, but they've had 2 very long days, and now they have to refocus themselves. They're out there on their own tomorrow, and you know, but they're 2 quality golfers, and you know, it's quite fun to watch. You know, Francesco, it's like he's leaning on golf shots, and then they land about 3 feet from the hole. I don't know I don't know what planet he lives on, but it's not the one that the rest of the players live on. That's for sure. He's been phenomenal these 2 days. But now he goes tomorrow, and he needs to get out there and try and win his singles point.
Number 3 in the middle.
Thomas, you mentioned the long days. I'm just curious if the types of performances out there help lift kind of the rest of the team energy-wise, and secondly, if also having a few guys who had last week off and came in fresh helped at all.
Yeah, I mean, the energy levels are somewhat good, you know, I feel like, but there's obviously a couple of guys that played the Tour Championship that, you know, they're feeling it. They're feeling how tough a season it's been, and it would be natural for them to feel it. But they're fit and they're healthy, and they know what to do. So that's what they'll do. But tomorrow is a different beast. You know, tomorrow is the individual performances that come forward, and that is a different thing to do. It's great to be out there with a partner when things are going good. But when you're out there individually, you know, then you're tested to the full of your capacity as a golfer, and that's what they need to do tomorrow. And that's the message that you need to get across to players is get the best out of yourself tomorrow. Now you leave your partner behind, and he has to go and get the best out of him as well.
Okay, number 4 down the back.
Thomas, just going back to Molinari-Fleetwood pairing, how important do you think it is that, do you think their course knowledge was in the way they played? Because they seem to manage the course fantastically. And how important has that been for your team throughout the weekend, your local knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to argue that when you got players like Alex and Tommy that's won around here, that they obviously, anytime, you know, in my own career, anytime I step onto a golf course I won on, you know, you feel good about yourself. You feel like I can play this golf course. But in golf, it's also about, you know, bringing your form, and that's more important than anything, because you tend to win on a golf course and then you seem to miss the cut the year after. So it's all about, you know, how you come in and the type of golf you play. But Francesco has played good golf around this golf course, but it suits his game, and he will be the first to admit that. But I say this, and I said it all along, when you take 24 of the best players in the world and put them on a golf course, they're going to find a way around it. Yeah, over these 2 days we probably found a little bit of a better way around it, but you know, it's not over yet. So we'll see how we manage with the golf course tomorrow.
Okay, number 3 in the middle.
Thomas, when you think about the style of golf that this course demands, do you think the guys in your team genuinely enjoy and embrace having to play that way? And if so, is that part of what makes them good at it?
But then you have to enlighten me on the style.
Just tighter fairways, longer rough, maybe a little more accurate off the tee.
Yeah, but this golf course reminds me a lot of TPC at Sawgrass. You know, that's the type, and you know, that's not a golf course that, you know, it's just not a very long golf course. It's demanding golf course, and you know, when you put the best players on a golf course in the world, you wanna see demanding golf courses. You want them to be tested. You want them to, you know, so you're rewarded by playing well. And you know, we have played well. We have played well. I feel like we've been out on the golf course and done the right things. But you know, it's such a long marathon this, and tomorrow there's 12 points to be played for, and that's what we'll keep looking at. Whatever the golf course is, and it's what's in front of us. I've never been one to hide from that. I can't play a golf course, and I always believe that when I'm playing my best, I can step on any golf course and compete.
Okay, we're going to go to number 1.
Thomas, do you, now 10-6 up, do you draw on previous experience? Do you name check Medina for what happened there on the flip side, or is this a complete new chapter?
No, you keep reminding yourself that we had a big lead at Valderrama. We had a big lead at Brookline, and at Valderrama we won, but only just. At Brookline we lost. At Medina we were a long way behind, and we turned it around. And so in history, our history will show me and everybody in that team that this is not over, and that's what it's all about. You go full bore tomorrow, get out there and do all the right things, and this is not over till you got the points on the board.
Okay, we're going to go to number 4.
Is there anything that you remember specifically about what was the reason that the Europeans had the success that day in 2012 on the Sunday in Medina?
Yeah, but I'm not going to share it with you until tomorrow.
Go to number 3 on the left.
Yes. Your decisions today meant that Thorbjorn Olesen was the only European to only play one match before the singles. What was your reasoning behind that?
You know, I really wanted to get everybody on the golf course every day, and but a couple of things, turned out. I probably really didn't anticipate to having Francesco and Tommy on the golf course the way I did, but things happen, and then you keep going with that, and they were so keen, and they felt healthy, they felt fit, and then you end up in a situation where that's the case. That was a really, really hard decision for me. He's one of my dearest friends. But you have the conversation with him, and, I go back to 1997, I sat in that team room on Friday night, and you're looking at Sevi, and I could see that he didn't really want to put me out there, but he did, and you go out and try and do the best with what's in front of you, and then you go and try to do well in the singles. And that's just what happens sometimes in the Ryder Cup, that you come in and you're playing all right and you're doing the right things, and when you're a rookie you end up playing 2 games. That's just the nature of the beast, and that's hard for the captain, but it's hard for the player. But Thorbjorn is a he's a good egg, and he's a boy that will turn this around, and he might go out and show his old Danish friend that he was wrong tomorrow.
Okay, I believe we have the singles just out, fresh off the press, and I'll call them out for you, Thomas, as you consider. Rory McIlroy versus Justin Thomas, Paul Casey versus Brooks Koepka, Justin Rose versus Webb Simpson, John Rahm versus Tiger Woods, Tommy Fleetwood versus Tony Finau, Ian Poulter versus Dustin Johnson, Thorbjorn Olesen versus Jordan Spieth, Sergio Garcia versus Ricky Fowler, Francesco Molinari versus Phil Mickelson, Tyrrell Hatton versus Patrick Reed, Henrik Stenson versus Bubba Watson, and Alex Noren versus Bryson DeChambeau. Thomas, can you give us your thoughts and your opinions on or why you went for those pairings?
Well, I mean, I can only look. I mean, you can sit and guess what the other captain is going to do. I went with this setup because of personalities and the way I see them. I believe that singles are very different to pairs, and I went with this group of guys in this order because I think it covers all the way through the order. So I'm happy with the way it looks. Listen, if you look at the right side of this, that lineup of American lineup was always going to be extremely strong, and it doesn't matter. We need to win our points tomorrow, and where they come from, they can come from any match. You can lose any match in the Ryder Cup, and you can win any match. So we go with this, and this is going to be. It's going to be a great contest tomorrow, and we look forward to it. All we really want to do right now is get back to the team room and see Liverpool's equalised, to be honest.
Thank you, Thomas. We'll move to number 1 over here on the right.
Thomas, I was going to ask a question about Molinari, but now the pairings are out. Could you just give us some insight into why you've sent Rory out first? Just as a statement, please.
No, but there's a lot of reasons to send Rory out first. He's a fantastic player. He likes to play fast. He doesn't like to be held up. He likes responsibility. So there's a lot of reasons to send him out first. He feels like he's in a place where he can go into that position and get the best out of himself. And you have conversations with Rory through time, and this is where he is. And in the end, somebody's got to go there. And I have a lot of belief in him, and I trust him as a player, but also trust him very much as a person. So it's a great place for him to be with responsibility.
And all your players have their respective qualities. But you said earlier that Molinari's on a different planet to everybody at the moment. I mean, what could you achieve if you had 12 Molinaris?
Oh, there's two of them I have to deal with once in a while. Never forgetting his brother. I don't know, what can you achieve with 12 Molinaris? You can achieve a lot, I guess, especially in this kind of event. But I don't like putting Francesco in a position where, this is a team effort. This is 12 players, and we do this together. And I keep saying to you guys that this is not a question of just the guys that's on the golf course winning the points, because the guys that win the points on the golf course, they do that because of the environment that they are in, and that's what this team is about. We've been playing with 8 in every session, but it's about 12, and we felt like we've been the whole team on the golf course in every session. And that's what we need to do tomorrow. We need to get out there, and every single one has to deliver. But this is a different kind of thing. This is the 12 individuals and what they do every week as a professional golfer. This is what they have to, that perspective they have to deliver from tomorrow. So it's different tomorrow. But, if any professional golfer would like to play the way Francesco's played over the last 2 days.
Okay, we'll go to number 2 in the front.
Yeah. Question coming back to this, you did a great job with keeping the momentum in the morning coming out. How do you see things going into tomorrow? Because the red did come back a little bit today.
Well, I mean, momentum is always important, but I can see this going blue and I can see this going red. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball and I can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. I have a strong belief in these 12, and I've had it all week. I've had it since we got together on Monday, and that's the only thing I can focus on. I don't like predicting anything about each match. I don't like to predict anything about how this is going to go tomorrow. We stay focused on what's right in front of us, and what's right in front of us is food, drink, sleep, and then we wake up tomorrow morning and we go with these 12 players. We can't change anything. These are the ones we have, and I wouldn't want to change anything. I'm really, really proud of what they've done these 2 days.
Thomas, on that note, thank you very much, and
thank you.
Best of luck tomorrow. Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you.